It is Thursday, January 28th. This is our 172nd update from the Kahnawà COVID-19 Task Force, and we're glad that you could join us today. We have some changes, as we've announced in the past couple of days. On Tuesday, there were plenty of big announcements and good announcements. We have come through a very difficult month. It looks like we're able to move a little bit forward. That doesn't mean, though, that everything is hunky-dory in terms of our mental health. We've all come through this together. Some people having a little more struggle than others. On today's program, we'll have a couple of guests to help address some of those issues, and we'll start off with Kathy Jacobs from Kahnawà Community Services. She is the Director of Family Services. Kathy?
Thank you, Joe. Saigon, everyone. This is the first time I'm coming on Facebook Live, and so I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll bring forward the topic, the hot topic that has been brought up in the last couple of weeks, and that is the mental health of our community. This subject is not only Kahnawà, but also it's global. But there's also some positive things that are happening that will help alleviate some of our mental health issues. And one of them is the lifting of the Directive 54, which allows for now home visits of one family. So that is lifted for tomorrow, January 29th, and you're allowed to have private visits, which include one other household at a time, and but it does not include parties or gatherings of multiple households. More on that will be brought forward by Joe later, I believe, on some details. So what I want to say right now is, in regards to the lifting, it gives us some positive impacts, and some of those are being connected again. The community will be able to connect with each other through their families, through their friends, and their social friends, etc., in order to be able to support each other. For we were talking earlier that, for example, we would look at face-to-face body language, reading body language, hearing each other's laughter, telling jokes, looking into people's eyes, telling old stories that never get boring, and even telling each other that we love each other is necessary when we see face to face. We can do that now, but we also have to remain safe, which is follow all the measures, which is washing your hands, the 2 feet, the 2 meters away, etc., etc. But now with the lifting of it a little bit, it alleviates the loneliness that people were feeling in the community. We know about this, but there was a necessity to bring forward those measures in order to keep us physically safe and healthy. But also knowing that loneliness and not being connected has a negative impact on our mental health. And further on, LoAnna, Zacharie will be talking to you about this in a little more detail. She's our professional from KSCS who works with mental health. But also I want to say is that, we also have to congratulate ourselves as a community. We worked really hard collectively to help fight this COVID pandemic. And as of today, you could say it's a success story. We still have a lot of work to do, but we've lessened our numbers to that's so low. I believe it's 1 left, and that is, we have to congratulate ourselves, because Kahnawà, we always come together when we have a challenge, and we all chip in with our responsibility for our existence and our longevity as Mohawk people. What I wanted to say too is, I know in the last, say, 10 months that it was very difficult for everyone because of the changes that may happen every day. Measures, health measures, directives, at one time they were happening almost every day. So catching your breath on what a new measure was, and also our task force and our medical community and our public health, they also had to catch their breath with new things coming down from the ministry, etc. So we were constantly in a change, the whole community for the last 10 months, a daily change, and we are not used to that. You know, it was hard to look in the future because you don't know if tomorrow you cannot do that because of a change. But we're seeing now a positive move, which is fantastic. But the impacts of what has happened to us is clear, and LoAnna will talk to you, LoAnna will talk to us a little bit more about that and how we can move forward as a community and as a collective and support each other with this situation of our mental health. Okay, thank you.
This is very well done, Kathy. She said she never did anything like this before. You'd swear she's been doing this all her life. All right, joining us now is someone who is no stranger to the camera. She's not shy. As a matter of fact, we heard her this morning on K1037 doing a very excellent presentation. And LoAnna Zacharie, also from Sagot, yet again has community services, is a support counselor from psychological services. I should have written the whole word down, right? Anyway, she joins us now. Let's give her a listen and welcome her.
Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to discuss the importance of mental health, especially at this time as we enter into the 10th month of the pandemic. In the last couple of weeks, it's come to our attention that I think there needs to be a shift with our people and our community to put a focus on how we're doing, how we're feeling, how we're expressing ourselves, not just on our physical safety. So it's a very big topic, and I recognize that we are limited for time. So I'm going to try and do it just, but I won't be able to discuss everything, so I hope for many opportunities to come back. But really what I wanted to bring forth today was really just awareness and have people understand and recognize that we are in a state of change, like Kathy was saying, and that change really creates a lot of psychological effects for all of us. So it's very normal that people are having adverse mental health effects like sleeplessness or changes in diet and appetite, increased anxiety, depression, feelings of sadness, feelings of loneliness. It's compounded by the amount of time that we spend segregated from each other and isolated. So we've done an incredible job of keeping each other safe physically. We've adhered to the measures. However, I'm asking Kahnawake and all of our community to really come together in that same diligence about mental health and making sure that we check on each other. We're so connected to everybody. We have, everybody's related, everybody has a connection to somebody. And if we can just form these buddy systems, so to speak, where we're checking on each other and really committing to not saying, I'm fine. Because let's be honest, we're not fine, and it's okay. We're not broken, but we're definitely struggling because it's been a long time. We don't have access to our regular resources. We can't even make decisions for ourselves at this time, right? So everything is dictated to us, what we can and cannot do. That really affects human agency and is really a huge factor in our mental wellness. So I wanted to also bring forth that the quarantine has kind of created, it has created an environment that our people were never meant to live in. So we are segregated, we have no access to each other, and our resources are scarce. There's a lot of fear happening right now. And I wanted to normalize that and let people know that it's okay. And as a community, we are all feeling this. So if we can make it okay to talk about it and be honest about how hard this is, it'll really help us in the long run. Really, wellness starts with being able to be open and honest, to stand and be vulnerable, and for other people to say, I'm not alone. And I understand what she's saying because I feel that way too. And there should be no shame in having feelings. So I'm really hoping that in light of everything happening in our community, that we start to let go of that shame about, you know, feeling sad or feeling lonely. It's legitimate. Our whole lives have been turned upside down. When before, as Kathy also stated, we were a close-knit community, all of a sudden we're not even allowed to talk to our neighbors, so to speak. It's become very, it's like living in silos, which is very not how we've been raised or how we've been socialized to exist together. So I would really like it if people could make an effort to really be honest and upfront to their loved ones, their friends, their coworkers about how they're feeling, and just make it okay. We don't have to fix anything for anybody. Nobody is looking for a solution necessarily. People want to be heard. I want to be able to say to you that I'm having a bad day, and for you to just be able to sit with me in that feeling. You don't have to fix it, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to make me laugh, nothing. It's just really about understanding me and being with me while I go through that. The other thing I wanted to just make people aware of is when we're bored, when we're idle, when we're stagnating, which is how it's felt for the last 10 months, like nothing's happening, we naturally get bored. Right? We're human beings, we're used to socializing, we're used to activities and family gatherings and sports and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When we're idle and have no access to any of those things, there's a danger in that as well. So I just want people to be more aware of things that they may be doing to compensate for that. So what I'm talking about is, you know, if you've been to Jacob's Hardware in the last month or since Christmas, you can barely walk in. There's packages and packages and packages and packages. There's a reason why we're excessively shopping. There's a reason why people are turning to substances. There's a reason why people are desperate for human contact. This is what happens when we don't have what we're used to having as human beings. So just to really take an inventory of yourself and noticing like, oh, you know, I think maybe I am spending too much time online, or spending too much money online, or, you know, just not doing things that actually make you feel better, but actually just kind of numb you out from feeling what you need to feel. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to bring awareness to. Right now we're in survival mode, which means we're all experiencing stress at some level. And I think it's important to note that especially our children and our youth, those who don't really understand how to voice how they feel, need to be walked through it. So if we can make that commitment as adults to talk to our children, to talk to our youth, to make it okay to not always feel okay, that'll make so much headway, because we have to normalize all feelings. We're allowed to feel bad. This is hard. This is not the way life is supposed to be. This is not how humans are supposed to be living. So recognizing it, acknowledging, and being aware of it is going to help us so much more in the future. So thank you very much for this time. Like I said earlier, get a support system in place, even if it's just a best friend or a sibling, just someone that you can check on and you can make a commitment to say something other than I'm fine, and to really be real with. Thank you.
LoAnna, and it was very well said. Remember, there are people, though, who may have to get speak to somebody on a deeper level or a more professional level, and that's where Sagot yet again does come in. There are services available. You can contact them 24 hours a day, actually. During the day, it's 632-6880. That's 450, of course. And after hours, you can contact the peacekeepers at 450-632-6505, and they will get in touch with an on-call worker, like I said, 24 hours a day. They have been doing this from day one, back in March. So there will be another program coming up. Our next update is on Tuesday, and we will have some updates on the situation in terms of COVID, but we will also have 2 more guests coming in to talk about mental health issues, specifically for younger people, teens, etc. So it should be very interesting. We hope that you will join us for that. In the meantime, just again, a couple of notes. The good news is that family gatherings now are not quite what they were. So beginning tomorrow, you can have 1 more household visiting yours once per week for now. Let's not take our foot off the gas. Let's not be careless about this. But we do have some good things happening. Also, starting on Monday, the businesses will be reopened, the retail businesses. And for details on this and anything else, you can, of course, check us out at Kahnawake911.com. So with that, we wish everyone a very good weekend. I know it's only Thursday, but hopefully things are going to calm down. It's going to get a little cool, so make sure you bundle up for the next couple of days. Remember to be safe, be smart, and be responsible. On behalf of everyone here, thanks to our guests, and thank you for joining us. Nyawako Adano, Onigiwahi.